Yesterday, I was at the gym and I was doing my workout as normal, but I just felt so irritable and so low energy for no reason. I kept asking myself, why do I feel this way? What do I need to change in order to have a better workout, in order to feel, I guess, more energized? And after leaving the gym, now, something I normally do when I leave the gym is I basically say, have a good workout to everyone. So I was fist bumping everyone, saying, have a good workout, see ya, I'm leaving now. And after I left, I was happy. I just realized that the reason why I was so irked the entire workout was because I wasn't talking to people like I normally would. But here's the thing. Despite knowing this, normally I would talk to people because I'm a very social person and I even teach people how to become social. I'd keep talking to people and it would still just get annoying. Why? Why is it that sometimes when you talk to people, it just seems really boring and annoying, and then other times it feels a lot more motivating and revitalizing? Well, there's one major reason, and before I tell you that, right now, scroll down in the video and press the subscribe button and also leave a comment. What that does is it allows YouTube to boost the algorithm and show this video to more people. So more people become social, get on the same path that you're getting on, and actually become fun to be around. So you're more likely to make more friends and form a band of brothers who you can trust. After you learn to be social, by watching the other videos or even looking down at the top link in the description, the social protocol, it gets you from level 0 to level 2 of social skills. After you learn to be social, you'll still realize it just feels empty. When you start learning how to be social, it feels really motivating because you're growing. You feel the acceleration, you're learning how to talk to people, things you couldn't do before, now you're able to do. But after it gets, easy, you aren't nervous to talk to people anymore. It starts getting draining. Well, that's because now being an introvert applies here. Having small talk with tons of people is very draining for introverts, and most people in the world are introverts. If you aren't already a social person, you're most likely an introvert already. So even after learning to talk to people, you'll still feel drained. Now, every single human requires social attention. It's necessary. You need to speak to people because humans are social creatures. However, introverts, they don't just talk to people. If you just talk to tons of people and have tons of small talk, you'll feel lethargic and somnolent. What you have to do instead is you need to have deep conversations with maybe 1 or 2 people. And this comes down to making friends. Again, a band of brothers, it's one of the most important things. You have people, like once you learn to be social, you have people who you'll talk to. Maybe you see them once in the gym. Hey, how's it going? Wow, you did that today. That's quite interesting. But you still need to have friends. It's extremely important. If you don't have friends that you're meeting 2 times a week, 3 times a week, you're just going to basically go insane. You need people who you can literally just talk about everything with, who you can just say whatever you want to. That's what humans require. So how do you make these friends? There's a few things you need to do to make them. First of all, you need to understand the type of people you want to meet. I don't know exactly who you are, but I'm assuming you're maybe around my age, maybe a little older. maybe a little younger, who knows, but you're trying to improve yourself. Maybe you've started going to the gym and you've built a better body. Now you have the muscles. Just a little flex there. Maybe you're still trying to improve another aspect of your life. Perhaps you're trying to start a business, working on your computer, seeing what you can achieve with that. If you want to meet friends like you're not going to find them in your hometown. Most likely. It's just very uncommon. And the reason as to why is because most people don't even have aspirations. And every single man, I'm telling you, every single man has a time where they want to get into business. They've seen through all of the lies. They don't want to be a rat in the race anymore. They want to improve their lives. 2 months later, the motivation is gone and they quit. That's what happens to most people. You're not most people now. You've started improving and you're trying to stay on this path for as long as possible. Maybe you've ran into some ruts, but you've always come back. However, most people aren't like you, and they're going to feel envy and jealousy that you're on this path and they've quit. So you need to find friends who are like you, and since you can't find them in your hometown, where will you find them? Well, there's only 2 places that you can find them. One is in certain cities. In certain cities, there are a lot more people like you. If you go to Bali, you'll find a lot more people on self-improvement trying to improve their lives. If you go to Dubai, you'll also find a lot more people like that. However, I don't think you're at that level where you can just travel wherever you want, whenever you want. So the best option, the next best option that you can use to find people like you on the same path as you is to go on online communities. Because now you have the entire scope of the entire world. If you find an online community where people are like you, wanting to improve their lives, trying to improve their social skills, so they are actually socially calibrated, because you can be on this path, but if you can't even talk to anyone, of course you aren't going to make friends. That's common sense. That's why I think it's so incredibly important to learn how to be socially calibrate yourself, learn how to talk to people, so when you do eventually meet those people you want to be around, they actually enjoy your company. And there are many communities, but I would say, and I know this is going to sound very shallow, but I would say the best community is my one. Is it marketing? Sure. Hands up, yeah, it's marketing. However, all of the best civilizations in the world, the best places in the world, they are all interconnected by something. In Dubai, everyone is connected, despite immigrants being there, everyone is connected by the loyalty and respect for the leader of Dubai. In places like Romania, people are connected by the culture. Everyone is a Romanian in Romania for the most part. In my community, you will be connected in a weird way by me. So every single person you meet there will have very similar beliefs to you. Rather than if like some people were influenced by me, some people were just watching all of the take content, some people were watching like other bullshit, red pill YouTubers, or all of that bullshit. And now all of you have conflicting beliefs and there's tons of arguments. Every single person will hear these lessons from me and of course go out and face things themselves. And you'll have very similar beliefs. There won't be as many arguments. You'll be able to connect better. And what this will do is you can meet people on the community, message them, and meet them up in real life after like maybe you call, you get a vibe check, and you can actually just have that person be your trusted friend, your brother. I'm not going to lie to you though, you won't just join this community and immediately find your brother in the next 5 seconds. It's just not real. You need to build rapport, you need to post, you need to provide value to people and maybe message the people close to you, so then eventually you can build a connection and meet up. In the meantime, whilst just still trying to find this trusted friend where you can grow together, like build your businesses at the same time, make enough money and travel somewhere together, whilst you're still on that path, what can you do? You can go in certain places like the gym, follow your own routine, don't do what you don't want to do, don't like go to the high street in your city for no reason just because you want to be social. But in your own routine, and you should be going out every day to the gym, wherever, in your own routine, you should be very social. But not just being social, that's one thing. You should also have deep conversations, and to do this, you need to follow your social compass. And I'll tell you what your social compass is, because by doing this, despite not having the same connection as like having a brother, a masculine brother, you will still be able to like stop yourself from going insane because of the social deprivation that you have. Your social compass is you're pulled towards certain social situations and topics. So let's say you're talking to somebody and you're very interested in self-improvement and they are talking about drinking alcohol and going to all of these stupid degenerate parties, and you just don't find that appealing. You're repulsed by it. Your social compass will be telling you to not talk about it. It'll be like telling you to stop talking to this person. The topic is annoying. If you follow your social compass, you realize you don't like this topic, and then you talk about what you want to talk about, and maybe you just ask a random question about, hey, have you ever been to the gym before? Because you like the gym. If you just ask a sudden question like that, and he answers, and now you kind of get into this different conversation about the gym and working out, and now your social compass is pulling you, you're attracted to this certain topic. Now you'll actually get into a deep conversation because you have infinite conversation topics. It's not like when you're talking about something you dislike and now you're in your head trying to think of stuff to say because you don't know much about the topic. If you've never been to a party, it's going to be so much harder to come up with things to talk about because you don't know anything about parties. If you talk about the gym and you know everything about the gym and it's super interesting, you're going to have so much more to say about the gym. You won't be in your own head, you'll be present and you'll be paying attention to what the other person is saying. You'll have more jokes to say, and overall you'll be a funner person to hang around because you aren't like nervous or like thinking in your own head. And truthfully, you can just like ask a sudden question. You can just say out of nowhere, have you ever been to the gym before? I know it seems like you can't. I know it seems like it just feels weird. It goes against all of the social norms that have been implanted in you since childhood. But I'm telling you, from experience, you can just ask a sudden question like that. And some people may not be attracted by the conversation you want to talk about. Sometimes you'll stop the conversation and they won't want to talk about it, or you notice in their facial expressions they just seem bored. In that case, fair enough. Maybe you two just aren't compatible. Stop talking to them. You don't need to entertain people. You can stop talking to somebody if you notice that they are just a very boring person. I hope this video helped. Check the top link in the description. It's a social protocol. And remember, consistency is over a lifetime. Bye bye.